Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back. It's Travis here with JT Wealth. In today's video, we're going to look at a stock that just came up almost 25% today, and that is Snap. But we're not looking at it from whether or not Snap is a good buy. We're going to utilize what happened with Snap to analyze another stock that has earnings coming up in about 3 days, and whether or not that stock can have similar results after their earnings report. So let's get into it. All right, like I said, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you find something of value in today's video. If you do, please give us a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel as well. I want to apologize in advance if I sound nasally or at all different. I am fending off a little bit of a cold that I caught in North Carolina, but I didn't want to be too much of a malingering guy here, so I wanted to put out some content for you guys and not let too many days go by without doing anything beneficial. So like we said, Snap was up almost 25% today because they had fantastic earnings, and a lot of people see more advertisements being pushed towards the Snap portfolio so that they can make more money on the platform, which makes a lot of sense. But another company has earnings coming up in 3 days after market close that could see similar results, maybe not 25%, but I definitely see positive outlook on this company going forward. And the company we're going to talk about today is AMD. We're going to showcase a couple articles talking about how AMD is scheduled to break the $100 mark soon, and then also showcase the fact that multiple analysts have actually predicted it going above $100 mark. And I don't think it's far-fetched to assume that it could break that $100 mark as soon as it posts the earnings report, assuming they are positive. So here's the first article that came out talking about why AMD stock is headed for $100. And this came out a couple days ago, and it was talking about AMD shares could be headed for $100 based on the company's expected strong sales growth, taking market share away from Intel and a potential new acquisition. So when Snap put out their earnings report, their revenue had grown by 116%. Now, AMD is projected to have revenue growth showcasing around 87%. That's if it meets expectations. If it exceeds expectations, you could see 100% or more revenue growth, putting it kind of in line with what Snap did today. So as you can see here, AMD is currently trading in the high $91 range, and its projected earnings date is July 27th after market close. But analysts from multiple platforms, they've got 20 different analysts giving 20 different ratings, coming together for a cumulative buy rating of moderate, and they have listed the analyst price target for AMD in the next 12 months at about $108.81. That's almost a 19% upside from where the stock is trading today. But certain analysts have even projected out a high of $135 in the next 12-month time frame, which is a fantastic price jump considering we're still trading below the $100 mark. That main article that I talked about earlier says that getting too caught up in the ebb and flow of the indices tends to distract investors from the overall goal, which is generating long-term alpha by identifying businesses with innovative products and services. For example, semiconductor stocks are a great place to look for buying opportunities on market weakness, given all the secular growth drivers that are creating opportunities for the best companies in the industry. Now, AMD is one chip stock that really stands out, as there are plenty of catalysts specific to its business that could help the stock rally in the coming months. With substantial demand for their computer chips expected to deliver strong annual sales growth this year, a fantastic opportunity to take market share away from a rival, and a potentially groundbreaking acquisition on the horizon, there's a good chance this stock is headed for $100 a share sooner than the current market action would lead you to believe. AMD is seeing explosive growth across all business segments, and when you live in an increasingly tech-centric world, meaning that the need for these devices such as computers, consumer electronics, and data centers is increasing at an astounding pace, AMD designs the microprocessors that power those devices, and the company is experiencing explosive growth along with its major business segments at this time, and across all of the business segments. So the company's central processing units are essentially the brain of a computer and are seeing heavy demand thanks to data center growth and a red-hot PC market. AMD is also gaining market share from Intel. A few years back, it was hard to envision a scrappy chip maker like AMD taking significant market share from a tech powerhouse like Intel. However, thanks to delays in the production of Intel's newest generation of chips and incredibly strong data center sales in wake of the pandemic, AMD is gaining significant market share from its competitor and should continue to do so going forward. The key difference between Intel and AMD is that Intel handles the manufacturing of its chips in-house, while AMD operates with a fabless model. That means AMD relies on third-party foundries like Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing to create its cutting-edge chips instead of just handling the manufacturing itself. So Intel's chip manufacturing woes will last until early 2022, which provides AMD a nice window of opportunity to continue taking business away from Intel. And it's worth noting that the first quarter, AMD's data center revenue doubled, while Intel's data center revenue declined by 20%. And we mentioned the acquisition. Well, Xilinx acquisition could be a potential game changer, and high-profile acquisitions can be hit or miss, but investors should certainly be intrigued by AMD's move to acquire Xilinx, and that ticker is XLNX if you want to look that up. Now, the leader in programmable logic chips that are used in data centers, machine learning, 5G, edge computing, and more. That deal is expected to close by the end of the year and could be just the catalyst the stock needs to really get going. There's a lot to like about this strategic move as it increases AMD's total addressable market to $110 billion and won't add a ton of debt to the company's balance sheet. Now, another thing that AMD has going for it is it just entered into the gaming console market, more specifically the handheld market. Check this out. That's a Steam Deck system, okay? And this marks AMD's entry into a lucrative gaming niche. Now, it was created by a popular video game publisher and distributor called Valve, and the Steam Deck is advertised as an all-in-one portable gaming PC, allowing its gamers to play on the go because of its handheld form factor, which makes it different from like the PS5 or the Xbox, and it doesn't need to be plugged into a TV. As a result, the Steam Deck is being compared to the Nintendo Switch consoles, and this comparison bodes really well for AMD for two reasons. First, the Steam Deck is powered by AMD's Custom Accelerated Processing Units, or APU, comprising the quad-core Zen 2 CPU and a GPU graphics processing unit based on the RDNA 2 architecture. Secondly, the Nintendo Switch had reportedly sold nearly 86 million units through May of 2021 since its launch in March of 2017. So what's more, the Switch has sold an estimated 26 million units in the past year alone. So that's a huge market that AMD is now capable of addressing. And AMD, however, missed out on that Switch's massive success because Nintendo decided to partner with Nvidia to power its consoles. So the partnership grew stronger, and Nintendo reportedly going to deploy a more powerful Nvidia chip this year for its Switch console. But obviously now AMD with the Steam Deck is capable of competing with that, getting their foot in the door and making up some room in that console arena. There are quite a few AMD bulls out there that have been watching this possible transition to breaking that $100 mark for the last week, if not longer. And one article that came out a couple days ago was talking about exactly the transition that it will take from the $87, $88 mark where it was to that $100 mark. And because we're doing this a little bit after that article came out, we can actually see how that transition started to actually come to fruition and what possible trend could continue going forward. Let's take a look. So this article came out 2 days ago, and it says AMD stock is going to get to 100, and here's how it will get there. So AMD stock has been struggling with the $88 to $89 area. That was again a couple days ago, but was able to push through this zone last month. However, it ran into the $95 resistance zone that kept a lid on the stock in the fourth and first quarters. With the latest dip, we have an ABC pullback down to the 200-day moving average, and this measure has held as support as AMD is now rotating higher. The bulls now want to see that stock clear 90, which it did do. Not only does that put AMD over the $88 to $89 area I mentioned earlier, but also over the 61.8% retracement and the 21-day moving average. So now that it has cleared that 90-day mark, what is in store? Well, that will put last week's high on the table, okay, near the $92 mark, which is just above where we're sitting right now, okay, and that's followed by $95. And above this month's high at $95.44 and the all-time high near $99 becomes in play along with the $100 mark. What do you guys think about AMD? I am long AMD. I do have a position in the company. I think it is a fantastic long hold for me. Now, am I going to trade it for the earnings report? No, I don't necessarily trade earnings reports because I think they can be extremely fickle. However, I'm going to continue to hold my position through it, and what happens, happens. If it ends up being an over $100 stock at the end of the day, fantastic. But let me know what you guys think about AMD. Can it have the same success Snap had today with that stock jumping up almost 25%? If not, I'd settle for 10 to 15%. That's still fantastic. Either way, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Please remember to give us a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel as well. Thank you so much for checking out today's video. Hopefully you learned something about AMD and its prospects for earnings report coming up. Until next time, thank you so much again. Bottoms up.